Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get straight to the insights. And today, we're diving headfirst into something we all kind of feel we know, but maybe don't. Intelligence. Our mission here is to explore it. Its fascinating, often misunderstood nature. We'll be looking at how our idea of intelligence might be more, well, individual, more intuitive than some universal thing we can measure easily. It definitely challenges some common ideas.
Yeah, and let's just jump right in by tackling maybe the biggest assumption out there. This idea that every single person is born with the exact same potential. This deep dive, we hope it sheds some light on what really drives the differences we see in cognitive abilities. Not just psychology, but looking at it through an evolutionary lens, too. It's much more complex than we often give it credit for.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We're starting from the idea that there isn't just one single objective definition of intelligence, right?
Right.
Like, what you instinctively think is smart could be totally different from my definition. It's intuitive, it's personal. And that's really just scratching the surface.
Exactly. And what's fascinating, I think, is when you shift from that abstract idea
Yeah.
to its biological roots, which are undeniable, really. Think about this. Humans, us, we share something like 99% of our DNA with chimpanzees.
Wow, 99%.
Yeah, 99%, which is, when you stop and think about the massive difference in cognitive ability, it's pretty amazing.
The 99% number really makes you think, doesn't it? But the tiny genetic tweaks evolution uses, if that small difference makes that huge leap from chimps to us,
Yeah.
then what's in that last 1%? What's doing the heavy lifting? And I guess the next logical step is, does that mean similar, maybe smaller genetic things explain the differences between humans?
You've basically hit the nail on the head. That 1%. It's not just, a few random extra genes. Often it involves what we call regulatory genes. Think of them like conductors of an orchestra. They control how and when other genes turn on or off. And this leads to really different brain structures, different ways of processing information, the big cognitive jumps that make us human. From an evolutionary point of view, this makes complete sense. We branched off from other primates because certain genetic variations, maybe better problem solving or abstract thought or complex social stuff, gave individuals an edge, a survival advantage. Over long periods, those traits got selected for. If everyone was born identical physically and mentally, well, evolution wouldn't work. It couldn't happen. Natural selection needs variation to operate on. So no, we are definitely not all born with the same potential.
Okay, that idea, innate potential, it can feel a bit, maybe uncomfortable. So let's try a different angle. Think about something like the 100-meter world record. Now, most people, you or me, we could train like crazy, dedicate our lives to it. We'd get better, for sure, maybe a lot better, but actually beat the world record or even get close. Probably not. Almost certainly not. It's like there's a sort of built-in ceiling for most of us, no matter how hard we try in that specific area. Does that analogy track for intelligence, too?
I think it does, yeah. And it really pushes back against that comforting idea that, if we were all born equal and becoming a genius just needed the right education, we could just copy what the greatest minds did and get the same results.
But we're not.
They made it that simple. I mean, honestly, wouldn't someone have figured out the formula by now? We'd have Einsteins and Da Vinci's popping up all over the place. And, well, clearly we don't. Sorry if that bursts anyone's bubble about downloading genius.
Right. Okay, so if we accept these inherent differences, what about people who do get dealt, an amazing cognitive hand? Is it always just a pure advantage, a blessing? Because we tend to look at really intelligent people and think, well, they must have it so easy, but maybe the grass isn't always greener, right? Is there a downside?
That's a really important question, and it's something we often forget. For those of us maybe not born with that potential, that genius level potential, it's worth considering that great intelligence often comes with a surprisingly high risk of, failure.
Failure. How so?
Well, think about it. They often aim incredibly high, sometimes so high that their ideas are just way out there for contemporary society. Their concepts might seem radical, even threatening, so they get dismissed or ignored. Imagine an inventor, like centuries ahead of their time. People think they're mad. Then, maybe 100 years later, their ideas are rediscovered. Or think about perfectionism. That agonizing need for everything to be perfect can actually paralyze them. They might never finish anything because it never meets their own impossible standard. It can be a lonely road, too, setting a bar that high.
Okay, so hearing all this, it's really important to stress something. Understanding the genetic side, the potential limits, it's not an excuse, right? It's not an alibi if you feel you drew a shorter straw in some area.
Absolutely not. It's about understanding the starting point. Which then raises the real question for every single one of us. Okay, what do I do now? We can only play the hand that chance dealt us. That's it. So it means figuring out your strength, what you can control, and then focusing on that, putting in the effort, personal effort, dedication, how you apply yourself, that's still huge. Paramount, really.
And here's the thing that's actually really encouraging, I think. A person with, let's say, normal abilities, but who has great dedication, they can still achieve amazing things, really remarkable results. It's not just about the raw potential you start with. So maybe your strength isn't pure abstract reasoning, but you're an incredible communicator. You can excel there, bridge gaps. Or maybe you're just incredibly persistent. You might master something complex just through sheer effort, even if it takes you longer. Actually, it's even noted that in some fields, like politics, for instance, sometimes even modest qualities can be enough if combined with the right strategy and, again, dedication. So yeah, it really comes back to your own effort, how you play your cards. Wow, okay, what a journey today. We've kind of pulled apart this idea of intelligence, seeing it's not so simple. Acknowledge that, yeah, genetics play a role in potential. That's real. But also, crucially, that dedication, how you see things, what you do, that's incredibly powerful no matter what hand you were dealt.
Absolutely. And maybe one final thought to leave you with, connecting this to the bigger picture. If, maybe fame isn't your main goal, consider this. There are cases where masterpieces by artists considered, well, mediocre in their own time, have later been mistaken for works by the great masters. Sometimes it happens the other way around too. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about what real value is, what true recognition means, beyond just innate genius. Maybe it's more about the impact, the work itself.